Do we say that this is
Okay,
season two?
we're back, everybody.
We got renewed for another
Yes, this
season.
is season two. Yes, we got renewed. We renewed ourselves for a whole other season.
We
Why?
had
Because
to.
we can.
Yes, we had to.
Because
So what's been
we
going
had
on?
to. You all can't live without us. Oh my gosh. Uh, in Crazy Town, since I keep being reelected mayor and treasurer and town council of Crazy
Right.
Town, everything's just fabulous. So, in Crazy Town, so I found out yesterday that instead of my children going to school for their half day, I
Mm-hmm.
got informed that they were going to have a virtual day that I was not prepared for.
Oh wow.
Not prepared for at all. Yeah. So I had the chaos of trying to teach lessons and do business stuff while they're doing their virtual school. And then they're home for spring break the next week and a half.
Yeah.
And then, so that's, I was prepared for that. Then I find out yesterday evening that once spring break is over, they're not going back to school. They have another virtual week after that.
They might as well just end the school year. Like they just might as well. It's just crazy. Yeah, Raymond's school is trying to go back April 22nd, but I'm like, she graduates this year. You're trying to send kids back to
What's the
school.
point of going?
Right. It makes
And
no
aren't they
sense.
done in May?
Yeah, we're done in May here in Georgia. Yeah, so
I just can't.
graduation is May 24th. Still don't have a whole lot of details around that. Um, but it's just like, can we just say that we're gonna follow suit as we did last year and make it easier on everyone? But it just seems as if they're trying to push it. And then emails, oh, we're doing prom. For what? For
Do
what?
you? Okay, so 20. So here's the thing. 2020, I feel like we had to wear masks and blindfolds.
Mm-hmm.
2021, we are still wearing masks and we are still flying blind. And when is the blindfold going to come off? Because I can't tell you with you having two kids, me having three kids, and we're both entrepreneurs and we're running our own businesses. How are we supposed to continue on autopilot or flying blind? Because I'm sorry, spring sports have started, and literally, I, I don't know if I'm coming or going. And I think they gave up on cloning, so I don't think I have any backups right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Because Dad, he's started back up with soccer. So, and I mean the outside sports I get, and he's been doing practices, I think like every Saturday. So he'll do like a 2 hour practice and it's like a 2 hour game and all the other stuff. RJ started going back to campus Mondays and Wednesdays. So,
Mm-hmm.
kind of have some I was kind of hesitant because it's like, okay, you've been doing classes all year and it's the protection in me. Like, why do you have to be in class now? But it gets him out of the house, it gets him, around his peers. But to answer your question, it is by the grace of God that I have kept all sanity in this. Don't go out unless I have to. Like, I have to run some errands, have a business meeting. But other than that, I'm normally in the house. And I mean, truthfully driving me up the wall because I'm like, I have to get
Yeah.
out. Even if I have to go, like
Yes.
normally I would be at a coffee shop or, whatever else, just working and sipping on a latte, but it's like, can't even do that.
Yeah. And I think everybody's starting to feel that way, that stir crazy, wanting to get out of the house, wanting to socialize, wanting to be around other people, especially when you have kids and you're kind of stuck in close quarters with little ones all day. You just desperately. But the funny thing, Ev, is that because I have to leave the house and I do some teaching in person
Mhm.
and I have to be at the office to help run things and running the kids back and forth to schedules. Once I'm home, honestly, lately, I don't even want to leave. I don't want to interact with people. I don't want to do anything. I just
Right.
want to be left alone. And it's like almost like the counter of what everybody else is experiencing. So for me, it's like I just want to be left alone. I
Yeah.
think it's because I'm so introverted. I'm an introverted that is forced to be an extrovert out in public.
Okay.
So this has been a real struggle for me because when we had the shutdown, being at home didn't bother me at all. I was like, woohoo! I don't have to have that energy that's so hard to
Yeah.
give out to other people. Whereas now I'm drained because I'm having to give so much energy. And then when I come home and the kids are home, I have to also give that energy. And at the end of the day, I'm like,
Right. Right. Yeah, I think, but
I'm
it
just
it
done.
goes to the conversation of mentally. Like sometimes mentally, I just like I have to get out. So I won't go bat stir crazy. And not that anything is going wrong. It's just like I have to get out. And I'm like, if I feel like this, I can only imagine, what people are going through that are still dealing with. I mean, because RJ told me like some statistics for a school here. I'm not going to name it, but the suicide rate, I was like, what? But you don't hear it on the news. And he's learning all of
No.
this because he's, going through training to become an RA and all this other stuff. So they have to talk about what goes on and, things that we would be dealing with for finding your voice and all this other stuff. But when he told me the statistics of this, and I mean, it's a predominantly known school, but for
Yeah.
everything to be kept under the radar as it's taboo to talk about, I think that's what pisses me off even more. It's like, why have this as a hitting topic as if you shouldn't shed light on it when yet there's so many resources that are available that can most probably help the situation.
Well, I can tell you from the work that I've been doing with Harvard, a lot of it is so there's so many layers to it. So for the school that you're talking about, it's probably because they're concerned about that becoming a topic that they may not have the adequate resources to
Right.
deal with it, and they're trying to deal with it. The other thing is that a lot of kids are not living on campus; they're living back in their homes,
Yeah.
and they've got parents that are working from home and younger siblings that add so much more stress to the fact that they're attending classes and trying to meet deadlines. And also, they're still responsible for younger siblings, and they have interruptions with parents coming through, and and not having the ability to blow off steam by going out with friends or doing things. So there's so many multi layers to what they're dealing with
Yeah.
that I think a lot of it is not being spoken about because a lot of these kids are not being seen because they're at home and they're not discussing it. And the other thing that is so disconcerting is that I don't think people really went into this situation with the pandemic really thinking about how isolation would really affect mental health
Yeah.
and how it would affect people that are living in the same household again 24/7, and how that would the dynamic shifts and the tension builds and there's nowhere for them to go to get away from it. We have in our area a high profile case where there's a congressman by the name of Jamie Raskin um, whose son committed suicide the day before. It was either New Year's Day or the New Year's Eve, and he was 25, and he'd been suffering from depression for quite some time, but he finally succumbed to his struggle with it. And
Right.
it's brought more to light because he was a graduate student. It's brought more to light the impact that mental health has on our young people. And I think a lot of people have this misperception that age leads to more resiliency and that these kids will bounce back, but they
Yeah.
don't understand that because they're in a situation where they've always had some form of socialization And when you take that completely online and you take out the personal interactions and so, the space that people have to be together, that that deprives them of so many things. And it's going to be interesting 10 years down the road when we look at these pandemic babies that are in
Yeah.
elementary school and preschool, what their social skills and their academic scoring is going to be 10 years down the line. Because I can tell you, having a preschooler that's doing online virtual, he's not learning. I mean, he's learning some social skills in the sense of how to unmute his microphone and how to turn on and off his camera.
Right.
But he's not learning turn taking. He's not learning sharing. He's not learning. He's literally, it's 30 minutes of torturing mommy,
Yeah.
where mommy wants to put wine in this and start day drinking. That's all it is literally twice a day torture.
But you raised something to the point of as well, because, as mothers, and I'll throw myself out there, like we try to take on, not try to, we have this thing to have to take on the world to make sure that the day-to-day is running. And there's no downtime. There's no downtime of, if I really want to just say for a whole week, I am not going to work, I am not going to pay a bill, I am not going to, whatever that is, there is no downtime. And literally, um, when you think of being at a breaking point, like, what do you do? I sat in my closet for 3 hours yesterday, 3,
Mm.
to collect. And I'm like, if I'm going through this, what is everybody else going through?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not even, it's like there's just so much. And, if we were to have a contest right now, I think you'd beat me by a landshot. And it's really one of those things of, people are like, oh, you're so strong and you have businesses and you have kids. And I'm like, but you don't see what's going on. Like, you don't see the fact that it's kind of like we have shields up, trying to protect the home front, trying to protect the businesses, and then the crazy thing is, people realize, or people don't realize, that when you have a business, when you truly care about your clients, you then have 20, 30 other people that you're shielding. And, even in having conversations with Gabby, shout out to her, on the whole doula forefront, as to how women are going through postpartum depression. And, RJ, one of RJ's friends went into labor. Yes. Well, she technically went into labor Monday. Finally, the doctors are like, oh, we're going to give you a C-section. And I'm like, but wait, she was in the hospital Monday, um, doesn't have too much support. The dad is
Yeah.
here and there. We're not even going to get into this. But my heart, and the
Yeah.
first thing, and even while, and kid you not, while I'm in my closet, just like snot nose tears, RJ sends me a text message. She's in the hospital. He called me and he's like, she's in the hospital. Nobody's there. Where's the mother? Don't know. I'm like, what hospital is she in? Because again, to me, I know what it felt like being married but single going into labor, first with RJ, you know, and then a year and a half later with Rayma prematurely. So it's like, if
Yeah.
she's starting off motherhood like this, and then, getting into the conversation that you and I and Gabby would normally talk about, of how, the statistics of Black mothers coming out alive, like, she's a teen.
Yeah.
So if she's starting motherhood off like this, and no slight to how she's doing it, because I commend her for it, but there's other mothers
Yeah.
out here that are trying to just grasp their hair and not even pull it out and try to stay face about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's putting on that poker face, even though you're falling apart inside and you are on your last leg and you can't walk anymore, you can't talk anymore, and you got to put on that smile for your child because their whole world is centered around you. And you have to look okay. And when you don't look okay, they know.
Right.
They pick up on it right away. And the fact that this young lady doesn't have that support for someone to step in and go, okay, you're not okay. You're not okay. Let me pick up some slack here so that you can take a few minutes to be okay. That's the big thing, is that we don't have that support anymore. You know, we always had these mom clubs where people would come together and help each other. Back in the 70s and the 80s, they were always watching each other's kids. You knew that if you got in trouble down the street, mom was going to know by the time you got home, because everybody was working together to raise the village. Well, we talk about, during the Clinton administration, it takes a village to raise a child. Where's the damn village? The village isn't existing anymore.
No.
Where is the village? Because I'll tell you what, there should be a village at that hospital right now supporting that young lady while she's in labor, while she's giving birth to that baby, and then helping her afterwards. And there's no village there.
Yeah. And they finally did the C-section, but again, she's not my child, but I'm already getting ticked off because it's like, if you know that baby's heart rate was at risk then, why wait until now? And even in talking to Gabby, like she would do pre-pregnancy and post, doula support. And it's like, even like that, I wish that she was here to be like, can you just go to the hospital and be with this girl? Because at the end of the day, like I can't take another post by watching. Like I saw a post on Instagram where a girl went into labor. She's 19, left the hospital. She kept complaining about pain and all this other stuff. Oh, they just gave her a pill. Come to find out, it was a daggone infection that if they did their due diligence after she gave birth, that it could have been prevented. But it's just stuff like this that adds onto it. Like, I don't know how people that have not gone through birth before, like, it's not easy. Postpartum depression, very serious thing. I went through it twice, but again, I have to pick up myself and keep it moving. Especially with Rama, my body went into overdrive because she was a preemie. I was pumping 8 ounce. I was pumping at least 8 ounces per breast every hour and a half while in the hospital 18 hours a day with her, and then still taking care of a 1.5 year old. That was before the pandemic. How are mothers coping now? What is the support system? What is it to say that instead of, oh, you're expected to stay at home and wipe the snotty nose, clean the dishes, do laundry, and all this other stuff? And that's why I'm so grateful for what you've really had the heart to do. And I mean, to me, it's coming out more of what needs to be done for us to build that Flossom village. Because again,
we're all living it. We're all living it. That's why. And you are living proof of that by what you're saying. It's where do you turn? Where do you go? Because we're all becoming these little microcosms that are being stuck inside 4 walls. And because of social media expecting us to show our best side and that we're perfect moms and we have the perfect kids, when in fact, my kids right now, I'll be honest, my kids right now, because I have to work, are on their tablets right now. And do you think I feel good about that? Do you think I love knowing that my son, who is 6, and my 2 9-year-olds are on a tablet right now at 10:51 a.m.? No. It makes me sick to my stomach because I can't interact with them and do something creative or fun, but it's survival.
Yeah.
It's survival. And does that make me want to go in the closet and cry right now? Absolutely. Because I feel like I failed them. Every time I see them on electronic, I feel like I failed them. But then I have to remember, I got to put a roof over their head. I got to feed them. I have to pay for their extracurricular activities. I got to pay for their transportation. I mean, and that's where I have to go, okay, I'm not so bad, but it ain't the ideal.
Right.
So but at the end of the day, what you're saying, Ed, is the problem that we have is that we have no social supports. The problem that we have is that we have young people that are having children that are getting no social support, and they're getting turned away by the system because of their age and because of their inexperience, and they're being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And then they don't have family support or friend support to help them through this. And that's why we're seeing a higher suicide rate. That's why we're seeing a higher infant mortality rate. That's why we're seeing parents that end up hurting themselves and their children because they psychotically cannot deal with anymore.
Yeah. So I would
And
like
they've
to,
asked for help and they're getting ignored.
yeah. So I would like to know, whoever's listening to this after the fact, whoever is watching this after the fact, like, where are you? Because we need to be able to say that we can wrap our arms around you, even from a distance. And Krista already knows, like, if I need to hop on a plane, it is done. And I know that she would do the same for
And
me.
she does do it. We would do it. We do it for each other. We do it for
And
each other. And
yeah,
the thing is, it's because we love each other and we support each other. At the end of the day, we started off as a working relationship and then we became sisters. And that's the big thing, is that no matter what breaks my heart is that you spent 3 hours in your closet yesterday.
oh
That
yeah,
breaks my heart. That you were alone in the dark. And that hurts me as much as it hurts you.
I think it was needed though, because me and God had to have some
Yeah.
conversations. Very, very
Yeah.
needed. And when people need to find that grounding faith, I mean, sometimes God seems so far away. And whichever God you serve, we're not making this a tick for tack or whatever you believe in. But I can say that has been one of my grounding things of, like, the God that I know that I serve has to prevail in some type of way, because if not, I'm like, why am I here? Let's just be honest. Like, you have to have a purpose for me to be here. So I have to give you honor with my life as the best way that I can, because you woke me up this morning. And it may feel like a crappy day. It may feel like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And at the end of the day, it's like, even if it's step by step, moment by moment, and just sitting here staring at the wall, trying to figure out what the next, business idea for the client is going to be, or whatever I need to do to step my game up as a servant leader. I have to come back to that of being anchored. We've been watching Mike Todd, Transformation Church. Like, that being anchored has to be in the space of the priority right now and purpose. Because,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
both got our butts whooped with, paper chasing versus paper, purpose chasing. And when we take
Yeah.
the paper out of it, it's just really one of those things of, why are we here? And I don't see that I'm just here for my kids. I don't see that I'm just here for personal relationships. I'm here for that young mother that is trying to find her way. And if she's a
Yeah.
rebel like me, the 9 to 5 may not work. If she likes to color
Yeah.
outside of the lines and throw sand outside of the sandbox like me, corporate America just ain't gonna get it. So how do we help
Yeah.
her find her path?
We encourage her. We
Yeah.
encourage her. We give presence. I mean, that's the biggest thing we could ever do, is be present and let our presence be known,
Yeah.
and let her know that we're a support to her no matter what, and that if she has questions, we'll answer them. If she needs to cry, we'll wipe her tears. If she just needs an ear to talk to, we're going to sit and listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. I mean, that's really, really huge. And that's the only way people are going to get through this, is the presence, the true presence. And what you said is so true. And for anyone watching this after the fact, tell us, when we talk about being anchored, What anchors you? What pulls you to hold you in place when the storm comes, when the water starts rushing in? What in your life do you see pulling you and holding you in place? And then with that, what is your purpose? Do you know what your purpose is? And it's okay not to know what that is. Reach out to us. We'll help you. We'll help you try to figure out what your purpose is. We'll be present.
Yeah.
The big thing here is you will see and hear our presence. We'll help you find your purpose. We will help you find your anchor. And once you find that, the peace of that is nothing that we could even describe in words to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And even looking at, you know, the things that we've had been laid on our heart, and I have to laugh because it's like every time we talk, it's like we have three more ideas, or and I have to say that it's a divine thought, because for it to come out, oh, let's do this, like, no, I'm barely trying to figure out if I want to straighten my hair or just not even comb my hair at all right now. I'm just being honest. Like, yeah, okay, sure,
You
why
see what
not?
I do? You see what I do? I'm just like, forget it. It's going in a bun. I'm messing with that.
But it's again, it has to go back to, you're not here, and whoever this is for, you are not here just to exist to birth kids, wash dishes, or whatever else it is. And if you don't have kids, it's not meant for you to just be living day to day as a dead man walking, as they would say. And with everything else of what it needs to be, it just needs to be one of those things of, be okay with where you are, give yourself grace, but know that there's more
Yeah.
to it.
Give yourself grace and know that the peace and the grace that you need only needs to be asked for.
Yeah,
Just say it out loud. Please give me peace. Please grant me grace. It comes. You just have to ask for it. You don't even have to seek it. You don't have to go out looking for it. You just have to speak it and it'll come. It will come.
yeah.
So we're here for you. We are here for you.
So I know we had a topic today. Don't ask me what it was. I think it had something to do with self
You
image.
know,
We can do that next time.
we'll do that next week because I'm so caught up in this wanting people to just know that they are important and that they are
Yeah,
loved and that they have a purpose and that they are wanted, and that if you are even considering leaving this earth, if you're even considering that, even thinking that the world's a better place without you, you're speaking to two women that have been there. We've been there, and I can tell you the world is not a better place without you. You have a stamp, you have an imprint here.
right.
You have a purpose. You have a mission. So before you take that step, reach out. We will be here for you. We will help you. No matter what, we'll help you. But just before you even think about taking that step, reach out. Whether it's us, whether it's to a hotline, whether it's to a close friend, whether it's a family member, know that you are valued. You have value. You will always have value. And you matter. You matter to this world. You matter to God. You matter to your family. You matter to your friends. You matter most.
Yeah. And if you feel as if you don't have friends, or believe me, being at odds with family, I'm a firm believer that certain people are put in your life to be that extension. Krista and I are, you know, examples of it. And I know that
Yeah.
if I need to get on the phone and get on the phone with her kids and tell them to get in line, I have permission to do so. And
And they do listen to her.
yeah. I'm really gonna have to come see my friend. I think we need to have some time together. But side note, um, create that circle. And not everybody's meant to be a part of the circle. Not everybody's meant to be a part of your journey. But you know who is. And believe me, I've gone through life creating circles as small as they may have, as small as they are. But if I didn't, I wouldn't have gotten this far. And I'm doing better because those who know me, I'm take on 10,000 backpacks, 18, luggage bags, and pull a whole tow truck at the same time. But I'm learning to let go and be able to let guards down and allow people in. If we were to have this conversation 4 years ago, no, I wouldn't be here. But to know that
you weren't ready.
Yeah, but to know that you have the opportunity of creating the circle that you need to, that is also an option. Things aren't always going to go right in relationships. Things aren't always going to go right, especially with families and friends. But there's going to be people in your path that are there for a reason.
Yes. And what we're going to do is we'll put our contact information at the bottom of this video with our websites, with our emails. Please reach out to us. We can help you. We are here to serve. We are here for community. We are here to help you find your blossomeness. We're here to support your blossomeness. So please reach out to us. We will have our contact information at the bottom. And again, reach out to us. We're here to help. And I'm just going to make this a little lighthearted at the moment and just let you all know that,
Krista loves her filters.
we're here for you. I do. And I've been desperately trying to figure out how to work this one in. I figured as we're closing out, I would just have a little fun with my filters.
Yes.
I do love my pig. It's not reindeer season anymore, so I can't use my reindeer.
Yeah, right.
There was
I
the
think
one
reindeer
that I
was like
liked.
really worn out after a while.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, everyone got tired of me with the reindeer. I'm trying to find my alien one because that was the one that I think everybody just. Oh, here we go. So we'll just end this with my alien because this is how I'm feeling today. I might actually, since I have to do lecture today at 12, I might actually just do lecture like this for the entire time and see what happens.
Right. You just need to start the class off like that to break up the stiffness, because I know that, and I mean, I see it. RJ's in college, Raymond's in high school, but just wanting to be connected. Raymond, she's a whole different story though, because she's just over it with high school. But I know that especially for the first year college kids, it was supposed to be an experience of spreading their
and they're not getting it.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
They're not getting it. And I know my kids love this. So I will start off with this look and see if first I'm gonna start off with this look and see if anybody notices, and I'll see if Dr. Weiss notices, because it might be where he'll go through the whole lecture and not even realize that he's got an alien PAing for him.
You know what? Everybody in the class should put on a filter for the whole class and see how that goes.
Well, I actually have to do the lecture on April 20th, so I think I'm going to probably make that mandatory.
I mean, that would be pick your filter of how you're feeling today. That would be a great exercise.
That's right. That would be fabulous. No, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Woohoo!
So, ladies,
all right, you guys go.
Yes, follow us. Let us know what you need. We will definitely be back on a regular basis. We are back with season 2 of Donuts, Coffee, and Pocketbooks. And if you're a coffee drinker, let us know what your favorite coffee is. If you sell coffee, let us know, because we want to support you. And definitely, if there's anything that you want us to talk about, put the topics in the comments. Just let us know what you want to hear from us. We have to work out our relationship with Facebook, because we have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. Facebook right now, but maybe this is worked out for what it needs to be because we need to be transparent. We need to be able to have control of the content. And
Right.
a lot of my business owners and internet social influencers know what I mean, and we can just keep it that way.
That's right. All right, guys. So we'll see you later. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys. Have a good one.
Love you guys.